Now I can't tell what's more funny, this haircut or this fit. Either way, we're not talking about any of them because I didn't ask for this. I simply did not.
Sure, Jan.
Right, so, bloody hell, it's been a few busy weeks, hasn't it? Especially with Mr. Hansen, Mr. Repzion, and that one dodgy bloke. Now, if you didn't know, on the 24th of January 2020, Chris Hansen and YouTuber Repzion had a court date with this bloke. I mean, this was probably his reaction when he saw Repzion, the guy that had been criticising him for about 10 years, was a foot taller than him. And don't get me wrong, I'm not hating on short kings, because firstly, with this haircut, I can't hate on anyone. But also, are you really a king if you take somebody to court but don't have an attorney?
Secondly, Mr. Jackson and Kai Jackson are representing themselves. It's called in pro se. They filed this without an attorney, it appears.
Yeah, Onision actually went to court to try and get an order of protection against Chris Hansen and Repzion.
Well, today's the big court date, as you know. Onision, aka James Jackson, aka Gregory Jackson, has filed for a personal protection order against me and a YouTube streamer named Repzion.
Now firstly, this whole idea of an order of protection against Repzion and Chris Hansen is just complete and utter bollocks. That's what it is. It is utter bollocks. Because mainly, free speech is a thing in America, a very big and powerful thing which they all seem to agree with over there. Maybe not so much in Britain, but in America, it's a big thing. You can criticize somebody, you can say really what you want about them over in that country. For example, if I wanted to, I could say this. When you've got alleged noncery at 2 PM, but also 6 aside at 8 PM.
Boom. Roasted.
But yeah, Gregory came out, he filed a court order of protection against Chris and Repzion, but it just gets worse, because apparently he filed it against the wrong Chris Hansen. So right now, there is a guy who's had a random court order of protection made against him, and this makes me feel better about this haircut. Trust me, I feel so much better and so much more confident in my ability to actually be a functioning human being at this point.
I've got nothing left. I've got nothing left.
Okay, now as much as this case appears to be done, it appears to be over with, there is a big chance that Greg could come back in and file the same load of bollocks that he's put against them, or file something even worse. The guy is basically a hot coffee pot right now.
That's an awfully hot coffee pot.
So what we're going to do is basically go through a detailed amount of what he actually put against Chris and Repzion in this situation, detailed by Chris Hansen's lawyer. And trust me, this whole situation just gets more and more insane the further you look into it. As I said in my previous 50 videos, it's like an Onision chasm. There is just so much there. And I do believe this situation is worsening his FBI investigation. It's making it worse for him. And we're going to get in all of that after we take a look at these clips.
It is alleging that it was an emergency situation, which is interesting. And Mr. Jackson alleges that Mr. Hansen was a stalker, showed up at the house, making hateful and harassment type videos since August of 2019.
Now what I think we need to do in this situation is lay out a little old plan for Gregory, a plan of the English language, because there are differences when it comes to words.
What? What the fuck?
There is a difference between an investigation and harassment. Shock horror! Journalists invest people for a long amount of time because you can't get a story right in the space of a day. Who knew? Just because Chris Hansen doesn't write for a newspaper and uploads his investigation onto YouTube doesn't make it any different between where, say, The Independent has an investigation. They're doing investigations, they're journalists, they're doing their job. Is it harassment for me to look at you wearing football boots at a court hearing and laugh? No, I'm not laughing at your appearance. I'm laughing at the fact that you are wearing boots under the name Predator.
Ironic.
But it's clear and obvious that this guy isn't even trolling, because there have been some leaked calls released of where Onision is speaking to his little cult, his little following which still somehow remains out there, on where he basically says he is being harassed by Chris Hansen.
You guys noticed they didn't post the footage of what he said, what he was yelling into my house.
What did he yell? What did he yell?
Yeah, he yelled maybe 15 different things.
What'd he say?
Like what kind of things?
Now's the time to talk. If you want to meet somewhere else, you should let me know.
Now, all I'm taking from this leaked audio is Chris was just being nice to the guy. He offered him further situations of where they could possibly talk in a private place. And to be honest, maybe you should just take that as a compliment, because I wouldn't speak to somebody in public if they were an Adidas Predators. I'm more of a Nike man, to be honest. Sponsor me, please, Nike.
I've got nothing left.
Now, I think at this point, we all know Nike aren't sponsoring me, but there is a way you can help me, and that's by subscribing so I can get to 500k. And I know a lot of you are getting annoyed by this. Understandably, I'd get annoyed too if I saw a guy begging every single video.
Please, sir.
I want some more.
But I just really want to get to 500k, and I have been busting my balls making these videos, so I would really appreciate it. But yeah, let's continue.
Mr. Hansen never received notice of this or service of this, which is relevant in legal terms. It's just like a lawsuit or a subpoena. You must get official notice by a process server or someone in law enforcement, someone licensed to hand these over, just like a subpoena would be served or a lawsuit. So technically, there's legal argument that can be made that this hearing should not go forward. The lawyers on the ground will handle those objections if they need to come up. First thing that has to happen is Mr. Jackson, as well as Kai, must show up at the courthouse today.
I mean, he certainly showed up to this event. He came and he was prepared with them Adidas boots and with that scrumptious, bumptious, diddly-dumptious suit. Where did you get that from, Ralph Lauren? Although, I've just got to break in here and say, I respect the tie that Repzion wore to this court hearing, because it's just class, and I respect it.
And if you didn't know, I'm a criminal mastermind!
Now, as much as I can joke about this situation and laugh at how the fact that it went so terrible for Gregory, I think what it also shows, as I was saying earlier, is this only worsens Gregory's situation when it comes to the FBI, because it shows that the court of law do not believe that Chris is harassing this guy. They don't believe that Repzion is harassing this guy because of all the information and evidence out there. So genuinely, I feel like this is further proof that there could possibly be some form of repercussions towards Onision. Now, the FBI are investigating Gregory over the content that he has posted onto YouTube, and with this victory in court for Chris Hansen, I would like to believe that the FBI most likely believe that Chris Hansen is a much more credible source than they may have possibly seen him from before. And I know at this point, Chris was already credible, but with a court of law basically saying that Onision is a moron, I feel like it only worsens Gregory's case.
Ripping apart a guy who lives in a tent! I live in a tent!
And I just have to say, the main reason I believe that Gregory has been posting these videos in the past is because the FBI are investigating his content. So if he goes ahead and posts a load of satirical meltdown videos, they're gonna think he's a satirical channel, and Greg might believe that they'll drop the case because of that. Now, I don't believe the FBI are that dumb, but I do think Greg is that dumb to believe that.
They filed this without an attorney, it appears. They signed it themselves, and they don't have an attorney. So they're handling this case on their own.
They've literally got no money to the point of where they're making pretty much false court cases against people with no backing whatsoever, with no attorneys whatsoever. The only reason they're doing this is because they say, oh, if you investigate our shitty behavior, we'll sue you. That's all they're doing this for. They're trying to throw off Chris. They're trying to throw off Repzion by just saying,
yeah, we'll take all your money, but
clearly not, because the community have supported these guys so much, and it is so nice to see. And if Greg thinks this sort of video is harassment, then why was their footage not released? Why does he not release the security tapes that he has from cameras outside his own home?
State of paranoia. You see, you know, maybe up to a half dozen cameras and monitoring devices in the front yard.
Just release the footage, Greg. That's all you've got to do. Release the Gregory cuts, and then maybe get rid of the shoes and, you know, maybe get a new suit, and maybe there can be a new talking point in this situation. Maybe. Probably not.
I live in a tent!
Now, to give my actual opinion on what I think is going to happen in this situation, as I stated before and as I stated on Twitter, I just can't see the FBI charging anyone in this situation because for some reason I just don't think there is enough credible evidence to prosecute this guy. And when it comes to the court of law, things are much more serious than it seems on YouTube. There needs to be so much information, and cases like these get dropped so often in America. And I'm not a master of law, so I'm not going to go further in depth to it, but I think there is one fact that we have gained from this entire situation. The fact that Gregory is lying about his height. He is not 5'11". I was going to title this video Onision, Caught Lying. But then I thought I'd probably hit 400k quicker than I hit 500k. And I have to say, I love the video that Chris posted on his Twitter. It is magnificent.
The harassment and request for a personal protection order filed by Onision, aka James Jackson, aka Gregory Jackson, has been dismissed, not surprisingly. I'll keep you posted. I got to run off and do a few other things right now, but just thought you'd want to know if you haven't heard already. All right, chat soon.
He's just basically Onision's version of Thanos, and we're just gonna have to pretend Endgame didn't happen.
The hardest choices require the strongest will.
And I'm seeing a lot of people on Twitter say that Chris is using this situation to his advantage to get his name further out there. But to be honest, I don't really see a problem with that. The guy is a journalist investigating a big story. He's only doing good, but whilst doing that, obviously his name is going to become bigger and more known. I don't get the point in what's the problem with that. There is no problem. I'm posting YouTube videos about it. I'm doing the exact same thing. I've been doing it for around 3 years now. Why am I not getting flack, but Chris is?
I'm Chris Hansen.
Do you reckon that was his face after Onision Prime got leaked? The craziest face I've ever made. You can literally see the crazy. Mate, we could literally see the crazy when you busted out the old 4K video camera when your daughter fell out the window. That was the crazy point for you, Sunshine. Now, to conclude this situation, I'm not particularly sure where it's going to go. As I said, I'm not a master of law, but what I can say is the support for Chris Hansen and Repzion in this situation is actually amazing. I'm pretty sure all of the legal fees Repzion had to pay have already been paid for by you guys. And that is insane. Insane in a good way, not insane in this way.
People have already made videos about me and it's fucking humiliating because they're all over the place and I don't know what to do.
So I think to reward you guys, I am gonna do an Onision meme review.
The guy pooped on my bag.
What? Why did I not do that? This is perfect. I am impressed, Emily. I am impressed. I need to see that again. This is truly the worst thing. Greg seems to think that he is this mastermind, that all these videos are satirical, and I am so smart. No, Greg, you are just giving us amazing, hilarious content. Ironically enough, this is the best stuff you've ever made, Sunshine. Stand in front of the window over there. The world should see how pathetic and helpless you are. I'm going to humiliate you, and right before you lose consciousness, I'm going to destroy you. His daughter, no! No, you can't do that, Chief. You can't do that. I mean, you can because it's bloody hilarious. Oh my god, the internet found out that I allegedly groomed several girls and slept with another who was underage. Might go to jail. I don't know. Feeling. Predatory. I didn't say it. I didn't say it. This meme said it, not me. Now we've got Onision holding a lovely bit of paper here saying, just be human. So what I want you guys to do is go and make your own edits with this and then tweet them at me and then follow me at iNabber69 because that is the true meme review. Us working together.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
I love the young people.
Oh no, if I get copyright strike for it, I mean, I'm not even gonna play it. Oh god, do I have to say allegedly again? Do I have to? Chris Hansen, FBI, and Patreon. Now, this meme is a 0 out of 10 because you haven't even put his name in the meme. I know what it's going to be. I know what it's going to say, but you've kind of missed out. It's like you've made a cake, but there's no jam in the cake. It's just like a piece of sponge against each other. That's all. There's sponge here, but there's no jam, and I'm disappointed. And with that, I will end this video, and I will end this meme review. Now, I do have another video scripted and recorded and pretty much ready to go, where it basically goes through the secret accounts and secret leaked information about this guy. A lot of it is already out there and spoken about, but if you guys want me to release this video, 25,000 likes, and I will release this video. But also, please go ahead and comment on this video. I love interacting with you guys. I really want to get the interaction higher on this channel in the comment section in particular. So don't forget to comment your thoughts and opinions, like the video, and go follow my social medias at iNabber69 and also iNabber at Instagram. Thank you so much for coming along, and I will see you in this 654th Onision video. Peace out, people. Have a cracking day.